Hello and welcome to the 100th episode of Yarn Chats. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and the beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. And I'm so excited to get to share this with you. I can't believe we're already at 100 episodes. That is wild. It both feels like I have been a part of this community for a long time and also like, how did we get to 100 episodes? But I am so glad that you've been along for the ride, whether you've been here since the beginning or you're a new viewer. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Today I have a little bit of to show you with whips. I have no finished objects. It has been one of those seasons of life where very, very little yarning is happening, and that's okay. So I actually have a slightly different format today, and then we're going to talk about a 100 episode giveaway at the end. So I guess we'll start briefly with whips. I do have two. I have my Advent project, which I've gone completely rogue on. This originally was going to be the Sunset Adventure Wrap by A.K. Lori Designs. It's a beautiful pattern, but I kept changing things about it to work the fade the way that I had envisioned it, and now, like I said, I've gone completely rogue. So the stitch counts for the center triangle and like the method for the beginning is exactly from the pattern, and then again I went rogue on the sides, which I'll show you in a second. I'm also probably going to change the amount of colors I'm using from this Advent once again. So let me show you if I can get it. I did it at the end of the row. I wonder why I didn't just finish that row. This is what it's looking like. I think I was close to the middle triangle, and then I have added in several other colors. So I did 4 colors up the middle, and then I'm going to be doing at least 7 on this side. And then instead of doing it like the pattern where this is a side of the wrap, I'm actually going to end up building off of this side as well. And I think I will wear the wrap like this. So this is in the middle. This would be like down the middle of my back, and then this would drape over the shoulders. So I still have that diagonal line coming down for a cozy wrap. But it'll just be both sides will be built off the middle, and I think that will be so pretty. I had blues to start off after this teal-ish color, and then I've got some like foresty greens into yellows that will be on this side. I have, I think, 2 more. Yeah, I have 2 more colors after this one for this side, and then I'll see if it's long enough, if it's the size that I want. And then if it is, then I will do 7 off of this side, which means that instead of using, let's see, originally the Advent had 25 mini skeins. I took out 4 to start with, so then I was down to 21. And then I think now I'm down to 18, just for the size and dimensions of the colors that I want to use. However, over the summer, which we'll probably talk about in the next podcast, I have an idea for something that will use a lot of mini skeins. So it's okay to me that I'm breaking up this Advent a little bit. I would rather have a project that is exactly what I want rather than attempting to use every single color that came with it in the same project. And that's just a personal preference. That would probably drive some people crazy to break up an Advent and to use it in different ways, but not me. So I love this project. I will say, for me, it is much harder for me to work on a Tunisian project when Melody is around, or when she's awake. She's always around. When she's awake, because she likes to play with the cords, and also because you put all of your stitches on the cord and then close them, it can be a lot easier to get off track for me rather than like traditional crochet where you're doing every single stitch at a time. I'm going to try to lean a little bit more forward because the light is a little funky in here today. So this is one project. I would say I'm over halfway done with it. I'm also curious to see how big it blocks out. Part of me wants to wear this to my sister's wedding as just an accessory. I think it would look really pretty. I have the joy of walking her down the aisle, and the dress that I'm wearing is like a terracotta-y color, and I think these would look really good with that. So could be something that I wear at the wedding. The more I think about it, the more I like that idea. And her fiance is also a crocheter, so I don't think either of them would mind, but I will still ask, of course. So I love that project. It's been a fun one, and honestly it's been a good creative boost because I have gone rogue from the pattern. Makes me kind of want to design something in traditional crochet that builds off the same way. I don't know what stitch I would use, but I do have another advent since I bought 2 last year. So maybe after I finish that, there's the type pattern that I still want to write that I haven't started on yet. Maybe I will write an advent pattern. I think that would be really nice. And I'm definitely writing fewer patterns this year, and that's okay. That is just the season of life we are in. But I think that could be a good, big one. And I feel like everyone is always looking for good advent patterns, whether it's crochet or knitting or Tunisian crochet. So it's an idea. It's an idea. The other project I'm working on is a pattern test for Serena from the Crafty Crocheter. It's another Tunisian project, and I just started it last night, so I don't have much to show you. But it's this cool chevron shape. And the way that the scarf is designed, both ends of the scarf are this chevron shape. So it doesn't end in a point on the other side. I love this. These 2 colors have been in my stash literally for years. They are La Jolla colors from Ba Yarns. I bought them in California years ago. Love them. I think this was a color of the month, and this one might have been called Patina. It's got little flecks in it that I really like. And then I needed a 3rd color, so I went to my local yarn store and got this skein of La Bien-Aimée Cashmerino in the color Emmeline, I think. And it works really well with these. And all the colors will touch all the other colors in this scarf. So I think I'm gonna do this color, and then this color. So this one will be the one that is used the most. So I'm very happy with that. I love the pattern. I love the way Serena's brain works. I had the pleasure of meeting her at Rhinebeck, and she's just as delightful in person as she is online. And she's just clever with her designs. Like there's a row at the bottom before you start the pattern in Tunisian that helps it counteract the Tunisian curl. And it's a smart design technique. So I love testing for her. I was delighted that I was chosen for this pattern test because I know that she had a lot of interest in it. Okay, so today, instead of our normal whips, finished objects, and yarn love, because that is the only skein of yarn that I purchased, we're going to talk about some of my favorite projects over these last 100 episodes. And I thought I would start with my Rhinebeck sweater. This I made for Rhinebeck 2024, my first time and only time I have gone, and it came out perfect. I used Happy Place from Hobie and TL Yarn Crafts. It's a cotton and merino blend, or no, cotton and wool blend. And it has this cool, let me see if I have enough room. You can kind of see it. Cool quilt motif on the back. And it's just lovely. It's exactly what I wanted. And if you were a maker, you know that sometimes that is rare, that you create something and it comes out just the way you wanted it. It was a showstopper piece. I wore it both days. And then I made Melody a little slip over version and she looks so cute in it. She actually got pretty hot the first day, so I think we took it off about halfway through the day. But if you haven't seen my pictures on Instagram for this, you should. And they're on Ravelry too. But I love this. It's so cozy and comfy. I love the length of the sleeves. I love everything about it. I will probably never have this written up as a pattern. I did make a video here on YouTube on how I made it, but I think it took 192 squares. And I'm just not gonna write that up as a pattern. I'm not gonna grade that. If you want to make one, have at. It's a rectangle, and I show you how I did it for me. Have at. Enjoy. I show you how to make each of these little motifs. Rock and roll, but I will never write a pattern for this. And then hers is just slightly larger squares. And then I think I made, but there's 4 on the front, 4 on the back. So 10, because there's 1 on each side too. Yeah, I didn't do them over the shoulders. This was also super cute. This I could maybe write up as a pattern one day, because that's not hard. But yeah, love it. No notes. It was so much fun to wear. It's still fun to wear. It will always be fun to wear. I love this project. I also love, so most of these will come with like, and I tried to pick 10. These come as 1, but I do have an honorable mention too. So this is my favorite pattern that I've written. And I've written a handful, but this one is special because it was made with yarn from Italy when I was there on my honeymoon. This is the only pattern that I've thoroughly had tested by testers, and they were super helpful. And it was just good for me to see how Brains worked with this pattern. I love it because it works as like a stole, it works as a scarf, it works as a light wrap. I love the color. You're gonna see this color several times in here. And I love it. I love that it's another thing that I had in my brain and it came out really well. So this is the Honeymooner Wrap. I also have the Honeymooner mini scarf that I released last year, and that's also really cute. Honestly, most of the time I use mine tied in a bow on a bag because I don't love having things super close to my neck. But if you're into mini scarves, it works well for that, and it also works well as a headband. And it uses, I think, 50 grams of DK. But I like this motif. I probably one day when I have time, would like to write more patterns using this motif. Blanket would be great, or I'd love to write a t-shirt or a tank top, but that will require more time and brain space than I currently have. One of my favorite patterns that I made when I was pregnant is this one, which my daughter actually slept with last night. She sleeps with it pretty frequently. And that is I think it's just called the Alphabet Blanket from Sass and Stitch. And I love it because these were all yarns that I had in stash. And it's a happy mix of a bunch of things. It's a good size, like it's a small throw size. This would be fun to make in a DK weight too. This is all fingering weight. I will say, when I was done making 30 squares in fingering weight, I was pretty done with fingering weight for a while. I did change the border a little bit, I think. I can't remember what the pattern calls for, but I think I did my traditional, like a row or two of single crochet and then some reverse single crochet. But I love this blanket. I love that she loves it. It's lightweight, it's wool, so it's good for temperature regulating, and it's been so fun. And it was a fun thing to make in anticipation of her getting here. And it was fun to just see it on the crib when it was all finished and just waiting for her to come. And this will always be a sentimental, happy project for me. And like I said, all these yarns came from stash. I actually dyed this yarn at a yarn festival, and I started with this color. I think by the time we started this, I knew that her name was going to be Melody, so I wanted the M to be in the yarn that I dyed. I still have a little bit left over that I'll probably use for something else, but that's the only yarn I've ever dyed, and it was also very fun to put that in a special blanket for her. My favorite, well, we'll just do this one. We'll just do them in the order that they're in here. My favorite garment that I've made this year, and one of my favorite garments I've ever made, is this one. And I call this a dream project because I wanted to make this 4 years before I did. I think I'm showing you the back. This is the Cande Pullover by Nomad Stitches. It's made in Sorella's Sleeping Beauty's Castle. I love it. I love the way it fits. Love the way it looks. It makes me really happy. I just love it. Highly recommend. I modified it by making it short sleeve. I did not make it cropped. I think it's slightly cropped in the pattern. And this took me 3.5-ish skeins of fingering weight yarn to make an extra large. And I love it. It was a splurge sweater because it's, I mean, that's pricey in hand-dyed yarn. But I love it, and it just makes me happy every time I see it. I have a little bit left over of that too, that will either go in my summer scrappy project, or maybe I will make a bow for Melody in it. The next thing I'm going to show you, I've also had for years, and it is, I've had for years, and this is the Juniper Cowl. You've probably seen one. It's an extremely popular pattern from TL Yarn Crafts. They're designed to be made with mini skeins. I made mine with yarn scraps, so I just used colors that made me happy. And whenever I need like a bold accessory for an outfit, this is what I always grab. And sometimes I look at it and think, oh, does it look a little messy? Does it look a little haphazard? And you know what? It kind of does, but it also makes me so happy every time I wear it. So maybe one day I'll make another one. I think it would be nice to have a solid one, honestly. But I love it. I love it. This is like when I need a dose of happy. Usually if it's a rainy day or a snowy day and I just need a dose of happy, I'll grab my Juniper Cowl. The next one, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more-ish, 5 more. This one is my most worn, I think, sweater. I pull it out every fall, and I don't know if it's the color, the yarn, the pattern, all of the above, but I love this sweater. This is the Goldfinch sweater by made by Haley Bailey. I used Malabrigo Rios, and it's so good. Like, it's a very oversized sweater. I think I made the extra large. It might be nice to have one that's slightly less large, but it's oversized and a little cropped. So I've worn this pregnant, I've worn this not pregnant, over dresses, with jeans, and I just love it. It's cozy, and because it's Malabrigo, it holds up really well. Like, I've thrown it in the dryer maybe once, because it did stretch out a lot the first time I blocked it. I was not prepared for how big it would stretch, but I threw it in the dryer on low for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and that really helped it take the right shape. So this is probably my most worn sweater, and it makes me happy every time I wear it, and I love it. Highly recommend. Goldfinch sweater. And because it's a made to measure, like the instructions are, they're not, it's kind of recipe-ish. It's very easy to adjust this pattern. And so you could play around with the different weights. Malabrigo Rios, I think, is listed as a worsted. I've seen this worked up in DK. There's a lot of ways you can play with this, but I love the Goldfinch sweater. And I love that it's in this kind of carrot, gold, yellow color that always makes me happy. I love pulling that out. The next one, which I don't think I wore at all this last year, is the Pebbled Path cardigan. And I had to bring this one out, one, because It's a very cozy cardigan. But this is the pattern that I've made the most times. I want to say I'm up to 7. Let's see, I made mine, this one. I think it was a pattern test, honestly. I need to make another one because this one, I didn't give myself enough ease. And it fits, but it's just, it doesn't super fit around the hips. But I still love this. I used Scout yarn and like the color is just so good. So made mine. I made one for my sister. Made one for my best friend. I made one for my sister-in-law. I made one for my mom. Maybe it's just 5. Maybe not 7. Is there anybody else? Let's say 5. I've made this 5 times. And I think I made it in a different size every time. Yeah, so there you are. I love it. Pebbled Path cardigan is great. She also has a Pebbled Path crop top, which I also would like to make. I think I already have the pattern. Just gotta find the time, but I love it. It's got these cool pockets. So good. Haley handcrafted. Haley Herman wrote that, and I love her patterns. They're great. They're really good for beginners because they're very recipe based, and they're great. Love them. Love Haley handcrafted. And then this one surprised me, but this one has been one of my go-to shawls. One, it surprised me because it's big, and I'm not always a big shawl lady. The other thing that surprised me about why I love this so much is that it's neutrals. Like, that is not usually my go-to. But this is the Ringing Rock shawl from Violet Loops. She did this as a kit with Montana Crochet yarn, and Ashley from Montana Crochet was great and sent us, as the testers, yarn to make it so that we would have pictures of all of the colors that she was going to have in kits on her website, which was so generous. And she was also really great because she like went through all of the testers' Instagrams and tried to pull colors that made sense for us. So it was very intentional. And when I got my colors, I was like, these are really pretty. But I don't know if I wear these colors. Let me tell you, I've been wearing these colors. I've been wearing these colors all the time. My parents are downstairs with Melody right now, and I can hear how much fun they're having. So yes, Ringing Rock shawl, I absolutely love it. It's huge. I wore this for my maternity pictures when I was pregnant. I took it with me to Rhinebeck, but didn't end up wearing it the second day because I had so much fun wearing this. But I love this shawl. I love it, I love it, I love it. It uses, this big one uses 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn, but I think there's also a 2 skein version. And I love it. It's just so pretty. So pretty. All right, last 2, then the honorable mention, and then we'll talk about the giveaway. So this is the Steep Club blanket that I made with the 2024 Steep Club from Terrapin Fiberworks. And I love it. I honestly don't use it as much as I thought I would, but Scoot uses it and Melody uses it. So this cool blanket uses the Happily Ever After Afghan Square, Granny Square, I can't remember what she calls it, but it's by Crochet 365 Knit 2. I made 5 squares out of each color, and I got them once a month. Got 1 skein of DK weight every month, and then I made 4 squares out of leftovers of each to do the corners. So I had a total of 64 squares, and it's an 8x8 blanket, and I love it. Originally I was thinking it would be a 60 square 6x10 blanket, like 6 squares by 10 squares. But as I was seaming them together, I realized that those proportions I didn't like them, so I changed it because I can. I used one skein of balsamic on the outside, and I love it. One of Melody's favorite things to do is to pull the blanket out and like practice her colors. She is 15 months old, almost 16 months old, but she can tell you, like, if you say, show me a purple square, she'll point to the purple square. She can point to the green squares. Sometimes she'll point to brown. She can point to red and blue and pink. Not always gray, but she loves how colorful this is. So I made this, but it clearly is not my, and then it sits on our window seat, so Scoot uses it a lot too. And it's cotton, which is also super helpful. Like, I think we'll probably use this summer, maybe as a picnic blanket. That would be really cute to have like a styled tea party photo shoot with it. But I love this blanket. It makes me happy every time I see it. And it was so much fun to make. Two more. This one is my husband's. This is the Into the North hat, which has become my very favorite crochet hat. It is by Eat Wander Crochet. Roxanne. I don't remember her last name. Her first name is Roxanne. Is the designer. And I love this because I made this as a Christmas present in 2023. I made Vaughn one, my husband, and I made Melody one, who was a newborn. And so they had matching hats. And this is also the item that I've made for Vaughn that he wears the most. And that makes me happy every time he wears it. I think he's earned another one. He has been using a scarf I made for him, which is why I made him a birthday scarf for Christmas. But obviously, like, most people, not me, because I don't like to wear hats, wear hats more than scarves as things get cold. And this has just been a delight. So he might need another one. He's earned it. I have to ask him what color he would want. But yes, I love this. It makes me so happy that he loves it. And it fits really well too. And it's warm. This is worsted weight, vintage by Barocco. So it's an acrylic and wool blend. So pretty. I also made one. I made one for my sister and her fiance for Christmas. And those were also really cute. I'm a little worried with how they hold up because it was like a cashmere blend, and it was kind of delicate as I was using it. So I hope they hold up. But if not, I'll just make them some out of something else. But I love this project, and I love that he loves it. And there's a very sweet picture of the two of them at a dog park when we still lived in New Rochelle, of like him holding her and both of them with their hands. Precious. Okay, honorable mention is this beautiful thing over here. This is the Adventure Tee. I feel like I had to bring this one out because a lot of people, like, this is the most impressive thing that they have seen me make. And it is impressive because it's a world map, and I was a social studies teacher. And this at the top takes there's like 6 strands of color work. So it was a mess. I was making that. But it's a showstopper piece. I don't know if I can still fit this one. Might need to block it aggressively if I was gonna wear it again. But yeah, it's just a happy showstopper piece. I wore it to teach social studies in, which was really fun. And it's by Eclair Makery. And yeah, it's just pretty, and it's just impressive. That's all there is to that. I hope you enjoyed this kind of reflection upon some of the things that I've made in the last 100 episodes. Let me show you part of the giveaway for this delightful celebration. So I looked at a lot of things that we could do for giveaway, and I just kept coming back to this. And let me see if I can. They fade, but I don't remember where the green is supposed to go. I think green is supposed to go there. This is a 4 skein 50 gram fade from Goosey Fibers. These are fades specifically designed for Yarn Social out of Kansas City, and they are beautiful and they need to go to a good home. So for the giveaway, you will receive, if you win, you will receive these beautiful 4 50 gram skeins, a few items crocheted by me, and then a couple of other little goodies in there too. So if that sounds good to you, comment below with something that you are proud of that you have made. That can be something that you've made knitting, crochet, Tunisian. That can be something that you have made professionally, creatively, something you've made of yourself. Let me know down below. As always, I will never, ever, ever ask for any banking information. Never ask for anything personal. If you do win, you will find out in 2 weeks when I do the next episode. I will say your YouTube name. I will probably have it in the description, or maybe also like as a slide at the very end. But I will not respond to your comment to tell you that you have won. Don't want anybody to get into any weird situations with scammers or bots. That is how you will find out. I don't think that we've had any issues with other giveaways that we've done on this channel, but I know lots of people have. So if this sounds fun, if those goodies sound fun, again, these beautiful skeins, some handmade goodies from me, and then some other little treats in there. Comment below any comment about what you have made that you're proud of. We'll enter you in. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and make sure you're subscribed to also be eligible to win. And with that, guys, I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you again for sticking around, and happy 100th episode. Bye, guys.